Welcome back to Transport Fever 2. Welcome to the city of Sioux Falls. In today's episode, we are going to actually look at placing down airports. That's right. I think it's about that time that we go to the next level. Trains are a lot of fun and I love working with the trains, but I think aircraft is the next big step in our production cycle. So I'm going to place one down there for $4.7 million. We are going to place another one over in Fort Lauderdale. There's 6.4 million. We'll set that there. Is that we have a machines factory. The next city for an airport would be Lakewood. I think it would be very important to get an airport out here as well. And I'll explain why in just a moment. And why is that not placing correct? Is that going to actually work? Or is there a problem? Maybe I need to level this off. That's not ever a good sign. So let's try and move it over here and see if I can place it down. This is going to cost additional money, but that's okay. So we'll delete those houses. And what I will do now is go back and try to place it here. So that seems to be working. So we'll place it for $5.9 million. The reason is because we have a plastics factory. In order to make goods, we need one of these. And this would be a great opportunity for us to ship that. My production was a mess. Let me explain really quickly and then we'll get off this topic and move on. So if we take a look at something like this route, 11C Des Moines Station to Des Moines Fuel, my problem is I never set up the actual line. So I never went in here and told it exactly what I want to pick up and drop off in the hold times. And that alone screwed up my network across the entire map. So our first stop on our agenda is going to be right here at the Sioux Falls Steel Factory. Right now, the Sioux Falls Steel Factory is making slag. And if you're wondering why that is because if we travel a little bit further up here, the Des Moines construction uses slag to make construction materials. That's how I'm getting that to work. What I need to do is set down a cargo station. So let's go in here and get ourselves a truck stop, 30 meters in length. It can be 2 platforms for now, that's fine. As you can see, this highlights, and when I click on the station, it highlights the airport. So we're good. All right, let's go ahead and set up a line between the steel, Sioux Falls Steel, and the airport. Alrighty, so I have the actual Sioux Falls Steel to Sioux Falls Airport. We will be picking up just steel and dropping steel off. Now we need to look at what other products we need to make machines. So let's head over to Fort Lauderdale and take a look. So we know we have steel. Now we need planks. So let's head back over to Sioux Falls, which by the way I do, because these actually the Miramar Forest in the Miramar Plank was about to close their factory, and I saved it between this episode and the last one. So we do have planks that we can actually now ship over to the airport. So let's go ahead and build a line and get that done. Alrighty, so now we have Miramar planks to Sioux Falls Airport, and we have it set up just to haul planks, which we should be fine. Now, if you're wondering why I'm not buying an aircraft and getting the route set up for the airport, there is an actual good reason, and we'll discuss that in just a second. Alright, we're back in Fort Lauderdale. So we need an actual cargo hub here as well, or truck stop, so we can ship the steel and planks over here to the machine factory and of course back. So let's go ahead and get ourselves another truck stop. It's going to be the same deal as before, and it can just sit right about here, which is fine. Alrighty, so now what we need to do is set up our lines, pre-set up the lines between Fort Lauderdale Airport in our actual machine factory. Okay, so let's do that now. I'm going to set up both lines and I'll be right back. So we've done it. We have the Fort Lauderdale Airport machine to planks, and I'm going to have to fix that label now. Alrighty, so both lines, and my mistake is fixed. Actually, no, it's not, because now this is labeled as 17D. This should be 17E. If you're wondering why all of these are the same number, but all in blue, it's because it's still the same line. The line still is for steel and planks to the machine factory. Now what we need to do is set up the airport. And why I didn't set up this before now is because if we didn't make the connections in both cities for the supplies that we were looking for, it would have done us no good to set up the aircraft, because the aircraft would not have shipped anything between Sioux Falls and Fort Lauderdale. And that's why I didn't set it up initially. So in this case, all we're doing with the aircraft at this point is we're going to set up multiple lines as well. So one line is going to be strictly steel, and the other line is going to be strictly planks. So I'm going to request a full load on here, and we'll turn off all wait times. So if you take a look, we have the Sioux Falls to Fort Lauderdale steel line, and that's basically all this line is going to do now. Now we're going to create one more, and this is actually going to be 17G, and this is going to be the exact same thing, but this is going to be now the plank line. So let's go ahead and set that up now. So we'll just copy and paste and set it in here just like this. And then what we'll do is we'll just change to planks. And basically it's going to be the same route. So let's go back over to Sioux Falls and select the airport, and then come back to Fort Lauderdale. And there we go. So how the game actually works mechanic-wise. So say you're sending, say, steel to Miramar, right? But Miramar wants fuel and food. They don't want steel. So unless you're shipping this to an end factory that wants it, so if you come into Sioux Falls Steel Mill and you go to the suppliers, on this list you have all the suppliers for coal and iron, which it takes to make steel and slag. If you go into the consumer, you can see all the consumers that accept steel. So unless you're shipping to one of these consumers, this is not going to produce. And that is why I had to take time to set up all these lines. So now what I'm going to do, and this is how I play the game, is that I come in here, and what I do is I start off by buying one truck for each area, okay? So in this case, we're transporting steel and planks, so this will work. So I'm going to buy one truck, and I'm going to ship it out onto the Sioux Falls Steel to Sioux Falls Airport, 17A. I'm going to buy another truck, and I'm going to do the same process. This time it's going to go out on 17B, planks to airport, okay? And then what I will do is go back to Fort Lauderdale and repeat the process. So in this case, same product, so one truck, and it's going to go out on, it looks like 17D, which is the airport to steel. And then we'll get one more, and we'll place it on the last line, which is 17E. Okay, so now we have our trucks on each one of the lines that we need, correct? Now we can head back to Sioux Falls and start actually buying an aircraft. Alrighty, we're back in Sioux Falls. Let's go ahead and purchase some aircraft. I'm looking for something that holds a good capacity, but we want cargo, not passengers. We will get to passengers very shortly, probably by the next episode. So I'm looking for something that holds a lot. So this looks like it's 350 kilometers per hour, and it can hold up to 14 items. So we will actually purchase 2 of these for over $5 million. Ouch. And we'll set this on 17F, Sioux Falls to Fort Lauderdale Steel. Now we're going to buy 2 more of these aircraft, right? We'll get 2 more for another $5 million, and we'll set it on 17G. Okay. Now, if we take a look, we should be producing steel, and we are. Great news. Now, this will be the time where I'll come in here and be like, okay, as you can see, the slag's overloaded. So what I will do is I'll come in here and manage vehicles, and we'll just double the vehicles to 8 for now. Now what I want to do is come in here in the 17A line, Sioux Falls Steel to the airport. I want to start actually putting more vehicles on this line. So I am going to say roughly 5 vehicles to start off with for now. I don't want this getting overloaded too badly, so we will configure it, and we'll throw down some of these storage units on here on both sides. So there's plenty of space to keep items stored without overloading the platform. There we go. Now we need to head over to the planks. Okay, so as you can see, we're starting to get planks on 17B, Miramar to Sioux Falls Airport. So what I want to do is I want to increase the vehicles to no more than 5. That's usually my rule of thumb when it's in this scenario. And we will do this exact same thing as we did over there. We'll place down some cargo stations just to help the overloading aspect of the platform. There we go. So now what I would like to do is I would like to actually get this Sioux Falls food processing plant online. Because Sioux Falls at the end of the day want food. So let's work on that. Take a look, I'm not a big fan. This is actually shipping it from the Durham farm. And it's forcing all the vehicles to go all the way around into Miramar. Let's see if we can fix this by adding a road. So what I want to do is I want to come down here. I want to get myself one of these roads. And basically I want to cut through the farm about right here, I would say. And this should actually now let the line not have to go all the way through Miramar. So let's take a look again. Yes, this is more direct routing. Good. So let's go ahead and finish setting up the line. Basically, this is going to be a grain line. And that's all it's going to actually do. It's pick up and drop off grain. It's going to be a full load. No stop times, of course. And basically, this is just going to go from the Durham... Oops, that's the wrong farm. The Durham farm to the Sioux Falls food processing. Okay, so we have the line created, 18A, Durham grain to Sioux Falls food process. We are good there. Now all we need to do is get, of course, some trucks. So where's my closest road depot? It looks like my closest one is in Durham. So let me go ahead and get myself a few vehicles. I believe it's this one that carries grain, yes, which is fine. I want a total of, say, 15 vehicles on this line for $4.3 million. And we'll schedule this over to 18A. And there we go. We have vehicles now heading out to the Durham farm. As you can see, it is producing grain now, which is great. I'm not worried about overloading. If we come back to the Sioux Falls Airport, as you can see, we have steel in planks ready to be shipped over to Fort Lauderdale. And this aircraft looks like it's carrying a total of 14 pieces of steel for us, which is great news. Oh wow, look how close it gets to the mountain. That's really cool. Alright, we're dropping off now in Fort Lauderdale. Alrighty, so far we have a bunch of steel being dropped off, and our next aircraft behind this one was actually for planks. Great. So let's go ahead and move over here and make sure that we have enough vehicles, which we don't, by the way, because I can already tell you I only have one vehicle out on these lines. There we go. Here comes our vehicles, actually. That was great timing. So I want to increase the number of vehicles on this line to at least a minimum of 2 per route. So the steel now has 2 vehicles, and the planks should have 2 vehicles. We're losing money. I kind of knew that. If you take a look, the Fort Lauderdale machine factory has a total of 319 planks versus 11 steel. So I think what I want to do is, based on shipment, I think I want to increase the number of steel coming out of Sioux Falls. Okay, so what I would like to do is come in here and double the amount of aircraft on here. This way we can hold up to 56. You know what? I'm going to go a little bit further with it and go with 6 different aircraft on here. That brings it up to a rate of 84. So what I need to do now is make sure that we can keep up with that current rate, which it looks like we're going to have no problem with the amount of steel on this platform. So let me go ahead and double the amount of vehicles to a total of 10 vehicles at this point. And we're making money on this route, which is great as well. Now, what we did not take a look at was the fact that Fort Lauderdale wants tools as well. So let's head back over to Sioux Falls and see if we have a way to do that. But before we go there, let's go back and look at our machine factory. Yeah, I'm hoping that the increased rate of steel will offset this some. I also, before I forget, I need to actually double the vehicles on this line as well. This is the actual from Fort Lauderdale over to the machine, the steel route. So let's do that. Now I'm going to head back over to Sioux Falls. So, wouldn't you know, we have a tool factory right here, the Sioux Falls Tool Factory. This is a different one than normal. This is a 1-to-2 ratio. Normally it's a 2-to-1. So what we need to do, this poor factory over here, it's not my only steel factory per se. I do have another one up here that I could bring online if I needed to. So what I'm going to have to do is reconfigure this a little bit. So let's do that now. So what I would like to do is come in here and take off the extra storage for a moment. And I would like to actually add 2 more additional platforms to this. And now we can put this storage back. Just like this. It's going to cost us a little bit of money. And that's fine. I have about $109 million. I'm not too worried about money at this point. So now what I want to do is I need to set up a new line. So I need a line that goes from this steel factory. And before I do that, let's take a look at its production. We are going to have to increase the number of iron and coal to this factory somehow. We'll get to that in just a moment. Okay, so we have Route 19A, the Sioux Falls Steel to Sioux Falls Tool. So basically all we're doing is telling it to pick up some steel and ship it over there. Now I need to actually get myself a vehicle. Let's go ahead and find what vehicle will work for this. That's not going to work. So it looks like it might be just an all cargo vehicle. Actually, we can use this one. It can transport steel. Go and put 2 of them right now out on that 19A line. I don't want no more than 2 because I need to work out our production cycle on this steel mill. As you can see, I mean, it's about to upgrade. If we increase the production for iron and coal, we should actually see an upgrade. So let's go ahead and do that now. So it's pretty much line 16 that makes this work. So 16A is going to get a nice upgrade. I'm going up to 50 vehicles, ladies and gentlemen. 50. That is a lot of vehicles in my book. We're going to do the exact same thing, though, on 16B, the coal to steel. So we're going to double the amount of vehicles, and we're actually going to replace all of them so they're in good shape. That's going to cost me $6 million, ladies and gentlemen. And we'll do it on the other line as well. Might as well, since we're here, we might as well upgrade all the vehicles to the latest and greatest. There we go. So now we're back in good shape, those vehicles anyway. Alrighty, so I'm back over at the Fort Lauderdale machine factory. Now what I want to do is run actual machines into the city. So let's go ahead and take a look and see what area the machines actually sit on. One way you can do this is to go into the roads, buildings, and get yourself a drop-off station, a truck unload stop. Machines are actually over here near our central hub, which is actually going to go away here. So you know what? What I'm going to do is I'm just going to delete this, and we're just going to sit down an unload truck stop somewhere like right in the center, so we can actually cover the machines and tools both if we want to. And now I'm going to set up another line, and this line is basically going to take the machines and drop it off in Fort Lauderdale. Alright, I'm going to set this line up, the Fort Lauderdale machine, to drop off a little bit different. So basically what we're going to do is drop off machines in Fort Lauderdale, but before it returns back, I'm going to also drop it off at the airport. This way we can start shipping these over to Sioux Falls. Now, the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to tell it, look, just only pick up machines. That's all I want you to do. Nothing else, nothing more. And I want you to just drop off machines here. And that's pretty much how we're going to work it. Let's go ahead and get ourselves a vehicle out on the line, and this should be fine. I mean, worst case scenario is I'd have to go back and fix it later, but we're good. All right. So where's my road depot? Here's one. So what I want to do is for machines, it looks like it's going to be all cargo. So I want to get 2 vehicles for now for $507,000. and it's going to go out on 17G. And there we go. Now this factory should actually start making machines, which it is. Fantastic. And it looks like we're starting to balance out a little bit our planks versus steel. Still a lot of work to be done to balance that. So we're back over in Sioux Falls at the food processing plant, and it's time to actually ship the food into Sioux Falls. So let's work on that. Let me go ahead and actually get rid of this central hub. I don't want it. And then what we'll do is find ourselves a truck unload stop. We'll place it somewhere about there. Should be good enough. And we'll create a line so we can actually start dropping the food off. All right, we have a new line, 18B, Sioux Falls Food Processing Drop Off. And all we're doing is picking up food, as you can clearly see, and dropping it off. Let's go ahead and get a vehicle. Actually, I probably need more than one. So let's take a look. That's just grain, all cargo. Can this handle food? Yes, it can. So we'll get 3 of those for $870,000, and it'll go out on 18B, which is the food processing to Sioux Falls. So what I'm curious about is this vehicle actually going to drop off only a percentage in Fort Lauderdale and then take the rest to the airport? Or is this vehicle going to drop them all off? No, they're dropping them all off at Fort Lauderdale. That is a significant problem, ladies and gentlemen. That is not what I wanted. So I think we need to change out that line. So what I want to do in this scenario is I want to go manage line, and let's see, it's called the Fort Lauderdale Transfer Station. Goodbye. I don't want that station. So what I want to do is drop everything off at the airport. So we'll get a full load, make sure everything is still set for machines only. It is. Okay, so now it goes from the Fort Lauderdale side-in, which is the machines, over to the airport. Because this is just, yeah. As you can see, we're getting a slight backup at the airport, which I'm okay with. So I have a little concern that I may have screwed something up here. Because you can see the shipment is going down, not up. So what that's telling me is we need to go over to Sioux Falls. So if we look at Sioux Falls itself, the machines are over here, right? So basically, all this means is I need to set up another line, okay? That's basically what it's telling me. And so this one is actually going to be from the airport to this location here. And this is all this is going to do is pick up the machines, drop it off in the city. Once we do this, that factory, the machine factory over in Fort Lauderdale, should actually start producing machines again. So let's go ahead and select that. So we have line 17H now, which is basically, as I just said, from the airport to drop off into the city. Let me go ahead and get myself a vehicle for that. And basically, it's just going to be an all-cargo vehicle for now. And it's going to go out on 17H. Now, if we go back over to the machine in Fort Lauderdale, this should start being able to produce. And ladies and gentlemen, I was wrong. Let me explain why I was wrong, okay? If we take a look at our airport over here, we only have 2 lines. We have 17E, which is running the Sioux Falls to Fort Lauderdale steel, and the Sioux Falls to planks for Fort Lauderdale. What we need to do is create another line. So let's go ahead and work on that, okay? And what we're going to do is we're going to create a new airline. So this one is actually going to go from the Sioux Falls airport over to Fort Lauderdale, just as we've been doing, okay? And this is actually just going to be taking machines and moving it from Fort Lauderdale back to Sioux Falls. Okay, so now we have 17I, which is the Fort Lauderdale machines to Sioux Falls. Everything is set up correctly, I believe. And we should be good to go to get some more aircraft out here. So let's go ahead and purchase some vehicles, or in this case, some aircraft. I'm only going to get 2 of them out on this at this point. And it can go out on 17I, which is Fort Lauderdale over to Sioux Falls machine. However, now we have the production, the steel and planks that are falling off. I don't like the fact that that number is going down like that. Makes me question about what we're shipping over here and the amount of. Also makes me question that the fact of the matter is that we have nothing on the platform at this point. So where is all the aircraft? Well, it looks like we're getting a little bit backed up over here at this time in Sioux Falls. So what I'm going to do to try to fix some of this mess is I'm going to come in here and manage line, and I'm going to set a 60-second delay and see if I can actually slow these aircraft down a little bit. It's not that we don't have the supplies, it's just that we're getting into a traffic jam. And that is kind of doing us in, literally. So I'm going to actually set a 60-second, and I don't know why the bottom one's going to. So a 60-second delay on the aircraft leaving the airport. And I hope that that will give enough time for these additional aircraft to get in and out, which it doesn't quite look like it. So what I want to do is increase it a little bit further. So I want to go up to, say, 90 seconds. So I'm hoping that this reduces the congestion, which it looks like it has. Let's go over to Fort Lauderdale and see what's going on over there now. So it looks like adding the additional wait time over in Sioux Falls has fixed some of our problems over here. Let's see what this aircraft has for us. It has steel, and this one has steel. Hopefully this one has planks. Nope, more steel. Oh, that's just lovely. And once again, this freaking machine factory is not wanting to produce what I want it to produce. Now we went from having too much planks to now having an overload of steel. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to increase the number of aircraft on our planks up to 6 now, and see if I can get some planks over here, which it does look like we had an aircraft that came in. Let's go ahead and look at this. We have plenty of vehicles to run supplies to our machine factory. You know, I was just sitting here thinking to myself, how do I increase planks over here? Because it seems like steel seems to be coming over here quite frequently to our Fort Lauderdale airport. Then it dawned on me that I have the Fort Lauderdale forest and the Fort Lauderdale planks. So let's go ahead and set up a new line and get that on board and ship it over to the machine factory. And that should actually solve our issue with our production over here. Alrighty, so we have line 20 now, which is the Fort Lauderdale forest to planks. And I just realized it's kind of the same color as 19. So let's just fix that really quickly. Let's go with this orange color, I guess. And all it's doing is picking up lumber and dropping lumber off. There's no wait times, as you can see. And now I just need to get some vehicles. So let's go and grab the road depot. And I believe it would be this. Yeah, this one can carry logs and planks. I'm going to get a total of, say, 25 vehicles on this line. Now, that's $7.25 million on this line on 20A, which I'm okay with, by the way, because my plan is to build a road, to build a road to the machine factory. But now I can always control how many vehicles is on the planks to machines to control our rate even further. So that was my plan initially when I went to set this up. So let's get ourselves over to the machine factory. Just something like this. And, ooh, I don't like that. Let's terraform that. There we go. It looks a little better. Anyway, so now what I need to do is set up 20B. And 20B is basically going to be kind of the same line here. So I'm going to copy. And we'll set up a new line and we'll paste it in. And now this time it just will be Fort Lauderdale planks to machines. And there we go. And it will be line 20B instead of A. And we'll select the same color as we've done. And now we'll go and set up the line. There we go. Now we have planks to machines. Of course, we want a full load of them. And basically all this line is going to do is set up, pick up planks, drop planks off. There we go. This line is fixed. Now all I have to do is wait for these vehicles to get over here and start dumping into here. And then our plank issue should go away. let's go back over here. So we now do have actual planes that we can actually ship now. So what I want to do is I actually, instead of actually forcing a vehicle from this distance over here, I'm going to actually go into the forest and plank line. I'm going to take one of their vehicles and just move it over to 20B. And that will save us some time. A little tip and trick, by the way. So now the vehicle will reprocess and now it's over on 20B. And as you can see, our Fort Lauderdale plank or sawmill, whatever you want to call it, is now producing. Fantastic. Now what I can do is I can come in here and I can be like, okay, since we now have a vehicle getting what we need, I'll just now increase. I don't want more than 3 vehicles, I think, on the line at this point, because all I'm trying to do is get the machine factory to start shipping. Well, folks, I think I may have found the problem here. Let's take a look at the 17i that I set up, Fort Lauderdale machines to Sioux Falls. You see the problem here? Or is it just only me? Well, the problem is that I put this in reverse. I didn't select it correctly. So what I want to do is I want to come back here and say, hey, look, in Fort Lauderdale, can you pick up some machines, please? And can you drop them off over in Sioux Falls? Should I actually erase it and redo it? Possibly, but I want to see if this actually works or not. So now let's go over here and take a look and see if this thing's actually producing. There we go. There was the problem with the shipment of machines. Ladies and gentlemen, we have officially did it. Sometimes the game just proves how much I need to really start paying more attention to what I'm doing. That's what the game proves. But anyway, we have a bunch of vehicles that are getting unlocked. We just picked up some machines. And I think we're good. And look at this. We actually have machines at the Fort Lauderdale airport. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I think I'm going to leave it there for today. What I am going to do at this point is we're going to take a little flight. And I'm going to leave you with the aircraft flying from Fort Lauderdale over to Sioux Falls. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to leave it there for today. I thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you in the next episode. I've had fun making this one. And until then, I will see you there. And goodbye.